Did you know that the new Barbie movie everyone has been talking about has really important and valuable lessons that apply directly to us children's book authors? That's what this video is all about. Hi there, I'm Eevi, an award-winning children's author and ghostwriter over on eevijones.com and the creator of Children's Book University. I create videos specifically for children's authors, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss my weekly videos. Over these past couple of weeks, everyone has been talking about the new Barbie movie. There are so many lessons to be learned from this movie, including the movie's inspirational messages of resilience and strength. But I wanted to go beyond these more or less basic lessons. The lessons this video will talk about are those learned from the new Barbie movie, but looked at from a writing and marketing perspective, and how we as children's authors can apply them to our own books. With all its many ups and downs since Barbie's first launch in 1959, this brand's journey over the years has been nothing short of remarkable. Because it continuously evolved and adapted to the changing times, it was able to grow from a simple toy to a cultural icon. And because of this continued reinventing and paying attention to societal change, Barbie remains a symbol of imagination and inspiration, where dreams are still attainable with ambition and determination. In total, there are 5 main lessons or principles I believe we as children's authors can learn from and apply here in our world of writing that will serve us well. So let's jump right in and take a look. Lesson number 1 we as children's authors should learn from is that movie director Greta Gerwig knew that this movie needed to please everyone. Little girls need to watch and love it. A, to first of all want to come and see the movie in the first place, and B, to then walk out of the movie theaters wanting their own or more Barbies. And grown-up women need to want to see the movie. Why? Because they are the ones that will decide whether or not their daughters should see the movie. They are the ones that will take their daughters to the movie, and they are the ones that will pay for the movie tickets. So Greta Gerwig had to ensure that there was something for both of these types of audiences that would attract them to the movie, that would make them want to see it. Children's authors face the exact same challenge. What many aspiring children's authors don't realize is that in order for a children's book to be successful, it also has to appeal to different audiences. Within the literary world, it is the only genre that has to appeal to 2 completely separate sets of audiences. 1, grown-ups like parents and caregivers, and 2, children. And why is that? Well, the reasons are very similar. It's usually the grown-ups that purchase the books, right? They are the ones that have the monetary means. And according to some studies, those purchasing grown-ups are 70% females between 30 and 44 years old. So these are either moms or aunts or friends of the kid's family. And of course, also grandmas. The kids, on the other hand, are the actual readers or end consumers of that purchased book. And unless they're old enough to have an allowance, kids are usually not the ones purchasing their own books. So if children's books are for children but purchased by grown-ups, we essentially have to pull double duty here when it comes to marketing and promoting our book. And while this may seem like extra work and a major disadvantage, we can also view this as a major advantage, because we basically can double our chances of making our book appealing to be chosen by 2 separate kinds of audiences. I have a whole separate video on just that, including how we as children's authors can tackle this very unique challenge. So I've made sure to share the link to that video in the description below. Lesson number 2 we as children's authors should learn from is that Barbie the brand listens to criticism, evaluates its validity, and then learns from it. That is truly one of the main reasons why Barbie still exists and why it is still so successful. It looks at trends and keeps up with the time. Less than a decade ago, Barbie had some major image problems. The doll no longer represented the values that many parents wanted to instill in their daughters. So what did Mattel do? Instead of being hurt by people's criticism and instead of retreating, thinking its time was up, they listened and gave Barbie a whole new makeover. While keeping the traditional Barbie, Mattel created new updated versions to showcase different body shapes as well as aspirational careers. Now Barbie has taken on over 200 careers, breaking gender stereotypes and inspiring young girls to pursue their dreams. From astronaut to veterinarians, from engineer to pilot, Barbie covers them all. It grew into so much more than what it was before. But none of this would have happened if Mattel hadn't listened to that criticism and learned from it. And the same holds true for us authors. Criticism can make or break the vision we have for our children's book. It can either get us where we want to be with our book or take all the steam out of our engine, causing us to give up on writing and publishing our own children's book. Getting feedback and hearing criticism can be so hard, especially on something we have been working on so hard and something we have poured our hearts into. But here's important to remember that there's good and there's bad feedback. Feedback that is helpful and feedback that isn't helpful. And we as children's authors need to learn which is which so we can use it to propel ourselves forward, so we can make our children's book the best it could possibly be. Negative reviews and feedback will happen eventually, but the only thing that matters is what we do with it. Will we learn from it, or will we let it crush us? And knowing what to do with feedback and how to evaluate it to see if it's valid or not is really important. So much so that I made a whole separate video on just that. I really hope you go and watch it because it could make all the difference in how we feel and react to any type of criticism, review, or feedback for our book. I've shared the link to it in the description below. Lesson number 3 we as children's authors should learn from is that it is important to be inclusive and to strive to represent or speak to a broader audience. Just like I mentioned earlier, Mattel listened. Today, Barbie comes in all shapes and sizes and skin tones, celebrating diversity and inclusivity. But that wasn't always the case. Since her debut back in 1959, Barbie has been subject to both praise and criticism. While she has been celebrated for her representation of empowerment and her encouragement to love ourselves for who we are, she has also faced scrutiny for not being inclusive enough. In response, Mattel has introduced more diverse and inclusive Barbie dolls over the years to really promote body positivity and embrace different ethnicities and body types. Now Mattel has over 30 multicultural Barbie dolls. And just like with Barbie, this type of diversity is important in children's books as well. Not only does this show inclusiveness, but it also creates a broader representation that in turn, so many more kids will be able to identify with. Because reading a book that has at least one character that looks like us or is similar to us will make the story so much more relatable. Now, racial diversity in children's books can be a delicate and tricky subject at times, which in turn leaves many of us children's authors with lots and lots of questions as to what we can and should do and what we ought not to. And so I have a whole separate video on just that, on some of the do's and don'ts when it comes to writing racially diverse children's books. So I've made sure to share the link to that video in the description below. Lesson number 4 we as children's authors should learn from is that the Barbie movie was ready for its big day, for its big launch day that is. Whether it was during the movie's premiere or at regular movie theaters throughout the world, people showed up for the movie dressed in pink. Thanks to marketing, everyone found themselves in Barbie world. The movie's launch was impeccable and really everywhere, all because of its very strategic launch. They created a lot of hype, excitement, and anticipation all around the movie, and we should do the same. Regardless of the size of our budget or even no budget at all, we as children's authors can and should learn from Barbie's concentrated efforts to get the word out and to have an actual strategy in place to do just that. Barbie's marketing team didn't wait until the movie opened in the theaters to start talking about it. Instead, it started to generate buzz weeks, if not months in advance, and it's important to our book's success that we start talking about it as well, even before it is available. And again, to help you create some buzz around the launch of your beautiful children's book, I have a video that shares the 5 most important things we will need for a successful launch, and I've shared the link to it in the description below. And finally, lesson number 5 we as children's authors should learn from is that it pays off to go beyond just the movie, or in our case, just the book. For Barbie, the brand goes beyond this movie. It leverages all sorts of additional products, all waiting on the back end to be bought by all its little fans. There's an entire customer journey to be experienced. So in a way, the movie then is only the beginning. It's some people's introduction to the world of Barbie and all the other products that it has to offer. And for us children's authors, our book could represent the same, a beginning of something more we might have to offer to our little readers. And so by identifying opportunities to share or offer something beyond our original book, we too can capture our little readers' attention to hopefully get them interested in any of our possibly future books. For us children's authors, this something more doesn't have to be an actual additional product. Instead, we could simply make our book more valuable and enhance our readers' experience by strategically sharing a fun activity with them that is connected to our children's book they just purchased. So when I say fun activities, what do I mean by that? Well, these fun extras, as I call them, are usually shared toward the end of the book and can come in all sorts of shapes and sizes and can be as easy or as complex as you want them to be. Some simple examples of what we could share after our readers have purchased our book are book-related printouts or activity sheets or coloring pages and even lesson plans. Here too, I have a whole video that is all about creating something specifically for our book that we can then offer to our readers in exchange for their email. And why would getting their email be important? Well, because Amazon does not share with us authors who is purchasing our book. Getting a buyer to provide us with their email would be the only way we can establish an actual relationship with them for perhaps future books we are looking to write. And so my separate video has lots of examples of what we could create and what we could then share with our readers, including all the how-tos behind this. I've shared the link to the separate video in the description below. Adding these creative extras can be so much fun for everyone involved. One, for our little readers that get access to some fun activities. Two, for grown-ups because they can use our extras as lesson plans or as supportive resources. And three, for us authors because these extras provide us with an opportunity to potentially collect other people's emails so we can connect with them. So again, just like there is so much more to be had after the Barbie movie, preparing something book-related that we can share with our readers after they have already purchased our book can be really beneficial. That's how we authors can establish an actual connection to our readers. All these resources I've mentioned throughout this video are for free. So I really hope you are listening and are taking advantage of this. No matter our age, no matter where we live, most of us have heard of Barbie before. She's taught us so many important lessons throughout the decades, ever since she made her debut in 1959. And so there's so much we as children's authors can learn from this humongous brand. Barbie is forever evolving and growing because the brand is listening. They are adapting and they are embracing new trends, roles, and challenges. And we don't have to be a big brand to learn from and apply these lessons. I so hope you found this video helpful and also inspiring. Just looking at something current around us and asking ourselves, what can I learn from this? And how could I apply this to my own situation? In our case, our children's book. I love doing this because there's so much to be learned from the world all around us. We only have to pay attention. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't yet. It really encourages me to keep making free videos for you just like this one. Here's to all the things we can learn from the things all around us. Bye!